Live from the CBS Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, this is CBS2 News at 5 p.m.
Days before the start of classes at a local middle school, one of its teachers vanishes.
Officials say Reuben Schur showed up for work on Monday, and they haven't seen him since.
Well, now deputies are trying to figure out just where he is. And CBS 2's Amy Johnson is live at Castaic Middle School with this mystery. Amy.
Well, Pat and Susie, a real mystery here. Reuben Schur was new here at this school, but he was considered a good employee at one of his previous jobs in Santa Cruz. But now he's just considered a missing person.
It's just terrible. I hope they find him.
Parents arriving to pick up their children at Castaic Middle School are concerned about a teacher that seems to have just vanished.
I don't know if it's really missing on purpose or he's been taken by someone.
School officials sent out an email alerting parents that Reuben Schur was on campus Monday to set up his classroom, but never returned for a teacher's breakfast or another staff meeting.
I didn't hear anything about it.
Schur was new to the district, so many of the staff never met him, and parents and students never got the chance to meet him before he seemed to just disappear.
He's been missing for 3 days now, and we're kind of worried about him.
Investigators say Schur is from the Bay Area, but had recently lived in North Hollywood and was reportedly recruited to work at the middle school. They say his phones have been disconnected and there is reportedly no family to check with, so the school reported him missing.
Hopefully he's okay.
Now, the school district is trying to find a long-term substitute to replace Reuben Schur, and they're hoping that they can figure out exactly where he is. Live in Castaic, Amy Johnson, CBS 2 News.
And turning now to our weather, it was another wild day, wild weather in the Inland Empire. This is video taken at the Lake Hemet campground. Water began rushing there, cutting off access to some roads.
Well, let's go right now to CBS 2's Garth Kemp with more on just what may be ahead. Garth?
Yeah, boy, I got to tell you, Pat and Susie, we lighten things up for us, but we still have action off to the east. That is not a big surprise. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to finally a Friday around here. You can see out towards Palm Springs right now. This has shrunk down. This is the last flooding we've got going on. If you're driving out and you get out through the Banning Pass, you can see by Beaumont, Desert Hot Springs into the Palm Springs, just in the western Palm Springs area. We have flash flooding going on right now through about 6:15. So damage is done. There is debris flow going on through the area. Heavy thunderstorms been going there, and it's like yesterday, it just wasn't being steered by any strong winds. We're starting to see these things dissipate after 6 o'clock. So if you're thinking of going out that way or on the 10, if you wait just a little longer, or if you leave in about a half hour by the time it takes you to get out there, most of this action should start to dissipate. But you can see the amount of lightning strikes yet again. But we are nowhere near as vigorous as we were yesterday. Up towards the 15 and the 40 split. Light showers follow at 40 if you're going out to Havasu. 15 out towards Vegas. You'll pick up a little bit of activity out there. But once again, as we cross the 6 p.m. hour, things should start to come down ever so slightly for that area. We'll talk about our forecast. We'll get you into the weekend. It is a little sticky or moist out there. That will change. We'll show you the weekend coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you two.
All right, thanks, Garth. Breaking news in Sacramento, where a man stole a CHP cruiser during a traffic stop. He boldly took off in the patrol car, then used it to pull over a bus full of students from Delta College. He forced the driver off and hijacked them, but the students weren't having it. That's when they turned the tables on him. A student says one of them put the suspect in a chokehold. Others helped restrain him. They held him down until the real police arrived, and tonight that suspect is behind bars facing some serious charges.
A stash of guns and fake grenades found in an SUV at LAX. Police discovered them at a security checkpoint during a random check. The officers removed the weapons from a white truck. They were discovered in the back of the pickup around 8:30 this morning. Police quickly swarmed the truck as they try to sort things out. Well, it turns out the guns were real and registered, but the grenades were fake. The driver was not arrested, but that incident caused a miles-long traffic jam along Century and Sepulveda Boulevards.
A hard landing by this helicopter at Riverside Municipal Airport injured one person. The landing happened around noon today.
Well, 2 people were on board. One of them wasn't injured at all. The other went to the hospital, but is expected to be okay. You can see the tail of the helicopter broke, but there was no fire or fuel spill.
Another bizarre court appearance today from the man accused of starting the Holy Fire. Forrest Clark was supposed to be arraigned today, but the case is on hold once again. Michelle Gili is live in Santa Ana to tell us just what happened. Michelle.
Well, Pat, I was there, and indeed it was another strange day today in court for this arson suspect, Forrest Clark. It was similar to the one exactly a week ago. As you indicated, he was supposed to be arraigned today, but after the judge listened to his ramblings, she decided to suspend the proceedings.
So here's my hang on. Here's my one question to you. Do you understand what you're doing in this room right now?
Absolutely, arson suspect Forrest Clark answered to the judge. It was another day of rambling and bizarre courtroom behavior from the Holy Jim Canyon man who was accused of setting a fire near his rural cabin that is still burning 11 days later and has gobbled up more than 22,000 acres. The 51-year-old was supposed to enter a plea today, but that didn't happen. As the judge attempted to talk to Clark about the serious charges against him, he focused on a man a few feet away wearing a red tie.
This man is sitting in a chair with a red tie. If he has a double knot, he knows whether he does know or not. And he recognizes the Windsor family, and he recognizes strength.
Forrest Clark paced in the glass-enclosed inmate area. He mouthed unintelligible words to spectators and held up a note from a jailhouse visitor for the news camera. His arms and legs were shackled, but Clark still managed to hop up on a bench and stand until the bailiff ordered him down.
Get down off the bench. Get down off the bench.
As Clark blurted out incoherent statements.
I'd like this to be recorded because that's my live energy that is being transmitted. And as a secured party creditor, I transmit live energy. I'm considered a utility.
The judge took a few breaks, met with the attorneys in chambers, and ultimately ruled that the criminal proceedings will be suspended until two doctors examine Forrest Clark.
The court is going to declare that I have no doubt as to the competence of this defendant.
Clark is expected back in court in October.
It doesn't mean the criminal case is over. The doctors could determine that he is mentally competent to stand trial. The criminal proceedings would be stated, and we would basically start from scratch.
Now, what doctors need to find out is whether Forrest Clark is capable of understanding the charges against him and assisting his attorneys with his defense. If not, it's possible he could get treatment until he is competent. He is in jail being held on no bail. Live in Santa Ana, I'm Michelle Geely. Back to you.
All right, Michelle, thank you. President Trump's wish for a military parade will have to wait now. Mr. Trump had hoped it would happen November 10th on Veterans Day, but in a tweet he wrote the local politicians who run Washington, D.C. poorly know a windfall when they see it. When asked to give us a price for holding a great celebratory military parade, they wanted a number so ridiculously high that I canceled it. Well, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser tweeted the city's cost would run $21 million, but an earlier report put the entire bill at $92 million, $80 million more than estimated.
Our main concern was the timing, the cost, and then, if you have the VAs underfunded right now, we ought to put the money towards that.
I think we should focus on the president's record for the military and the veterans. He's been the most pro-military, most pro-veteran president in modern time.
Well, the president says the parade could take place next year. He plans to attend a Veterans Day parade at a military base near D.C.
Well, the jury deciding former Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort's fate went home for the weekend with no verdict. And the judge just revealed he has received death threats. Judge T.S. Ellis III didn't disclose details about the threats, but said it was enough to make him wary of making the names of the 12 jurors and 4 alternates public. The panel has spent 2 days debating whether Manafort's guilty of 18 bank and tax fraud charges. Deliberations will resume on Monday.
President Trump is defending his decision to revoke former CIA Director John Brennan's security clearance. Today, the president said he's received tremendous response to the move. This morning, he did not deny the decision was made in connection to the special counsel investigation into the Trump campaign's possible collusion with Russia. And he went on to attack the investigation and the man leading it, Robert Mueller.
Mr. Mueller is highly conflicted. In fact, Comey is like his best friend. I could go into conflict after conflict. But sadly, Mr. Mueller is conflicted. But let him write his report.
More than a dozen former national security officials in the meantime penned a letter criticizing the president for his decision, calling it inappropriate and deeply regrettable. It says in part the president's action has nothing to do with who should and should not hold security clearances and everything to do with an attempt to stifle free speech. And coverage of all of today's political news continues right here at 6:30 on the CBS Evening News with Jeff Glor.
As Aretha Franklin's family prepares for her funeral, now set for August 31st in Detroit, tributes in her honor continue to grow.
Ariana Grande and Alicia Keys belted out powerful renditions of some of the Queen of Soul's hit songs. Music legend Stevie Wonder told CBS This Morning why Franklin's death was such a loss.
She touched every genre, every singer was influenced in some way by the way she sang.
A memorial concert is also now being planned.
We'll take a look at the cover of today's edition of the Detroit Free Press. It reads, "Farewell to Our Queen," and inside a special 8-page tribute headlined with eternal respect. And CBS News has learned an Aretha Franklin tribute concert is being planned at Madison Square Garden in New York City for November.
I'm sure there'll be beautiful tributes to all of them.
Just lovely, right?
Yeah. Well, turmoil at Tesla.
Yeah, how the automaker's stocks are reacting following a bizarre interview with founder Elon Musk.
Plus the latest on the shocking case out of Colorado where a father stands accused of murdering his pregnant wife and 2 young daughters.
Plus details on the charges just filed in the case of the young woman who pushed her teenage friend off a bridge.
And a robber messed with the wrong store clerk. She was not going to let him get away on her watch. The crazy fight caught on camera.